Hi, and welcome back to Dirty Brian's Garage. Here in Kentucky, our mower season is fairly long compared to what I'm used to up in Rhode Island. We're normally going sometimes at the end of March, definitely by mid-April we're mowing, and we're going from then until probably sometimes up until late November, possibly early December. So we have quite a lengthy mower season. Now the whole problem is that a lot of people want to buy used lawn mowers, and I have to supply them, but all the time sometimes that just isn't possible. Last year, for example, it was just crazy. I was in the middle of moving into this location. The scrapyard just wasn't giving up good mowers. It was just a total flop last year. So this year I'm a little more prepared, and I'm trying to work up some inventory in order to keep people happy. At the beginning of the mower season hits, I'm getting messages left and right. I want to buy a mower. If I don't have them, I can't sell them to you. So anyway, I bought a few from the scrapyard over the winter and whatnot, but this is a more recent one that I just wanted to show you. This was just a few weeks back. A woman who was a friend of a friend messaged me. She's like, "Hey, I got a couple of mowers. I heard you mess with them. If you want them, you can have them." So, and it ended up being like right across the street from where I work, so it was an easy pickup and everything. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna turn this Murray from a scrapyard heap into a good old mower somebody can actually use and enjoy. So I'm gonna give you a quick walk around here, and we'll go from there with it. All right, so what we have here is approximately 2004, 2005 Murray. It's got the high wheeler, which is always helps them sell a little bit. Now the deck itself is not bad on this mower. It's not bad at all. And one thing I was happy to see, it's got the upgrade on it. Kind of hard to see. Right there, the little bracket that bolts into the deck. The older style of these mowers had they just had the one bolt and a little tab that held them in, and those brackets would just flop all over the place, and it was just a mess. But this mower does not have the correct handle on it. It's off of another mower and everything. I do have the correct handle for this mower. I actually have it right here in stock, so I don't even have to go out to the farm for it. You notice we got pull covers all loose and everything. But the most concerning part with this thing is right here. This mower's been run with no air filter. I released the blade brake on it. I was spinning it a little bit by hand, and you can actually hear the cylinder scratching. That's telling me this motor's junk. I'm not gonna mess with it. I mean, I try to sell quality mowers, so we're not gonna play games with something as trivial as that. But the deck itself is actually in pretty good shape, so that'll work. Now, I mentioned that the woman gave me two mowers. The other one was a Pull-In Pro. The deck was absolute trash. It was just rotted to pieces and everything, but it did have an excellent engine on it, which I'm gonna show you right here. 2007 Briggs & Stratton, I don't know, it's saying a 4.5 horsepower, I don't know. I don't believe all these numbers, but one thing you want to notice how clean this engine is. Even the muffler itself, look at how clean that is compared to the one on the Murray. Luckily, both these shafts have the same, both these engines have the same identical length crankshafts and everything. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and pull this engine off of here, get this deck all cleaned up, take this engine outside, you know, scrub that down a little bit, put it on there, and then we'll go from there with it. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Actually, I'll leave you on there for a minute. We're gonna go ahead and pull this engine off while you're right here. Just show you kind of how easy it really is. It's gonna take a few sockets and a couple seconds. We'll get this engine off of here. There we go. Use our handy dandy little impact gun. Go ahead and zap the blade and the engine off, and I'll actually show you what's wrong with this engine. Oh, it's got the big bolts on it. All right. Well, that was easy enough. Alright, so next what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take this deck outside, we're going to clean that off, clean this engine up a little bit, and get it ready to bolt back on here. And we're back. Alright, I went ahead and got this deck cleaned up a little bit, got the engine cleaned up a little bit. Neither one of them are like super clean or anything. I want to hear this thing run before we give it a good detailed cleaning. But once the, once we hear it run before it goes out on the lot for sale, it'll be cleaned up far better than that. One thing I wanted to show you real quick. All right, so we got, here's one of the original mounting bolts for this thing. If you really look, you can see a bunch of white scale on it. That is actually corrosion. Moisture and everything will do that. You got your, the bolt is made of metal. The plate, the sump for the engine is made of aluminum. So it creates that. It's actually, I guess it's some type of reaction. This is why you will normally see me, when I take an engine off, I do it with an impact. Usually this corrosion is actually enough to stop it to the point, if you try and pull it with a ratchet, you normally will snap the bolt. So that's, that's, of course the impact's easier also, but still, that's why I do that. So anyway, like I said, this thing's all bad, but what you're gonna do, here's one of the new ones going in. As you can see, I went ahead and cleaned this up on the bench grinder, and that's, that's going to be a lot cleaner. This is just basically for the next guy that goes to take this engine off, whether it's me or somebody else, it's going to come right off that way. It's a product called Never Seize, Anti-Seize, whatever you want to call it. You coat the bolts with this, and it actually slows or stops that whole process of it'll keep the corrosion out of there. The stuff works excellent. Anytime you have bolts, steel going into aluminum, like a water pump on a car or something to that effect, this is a tried and true product, which I always use. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and set this engine back on a mower and get it bolted up. figure you can watch this if you want. The pulling engine did have a different style blade adapter. Luckily, I did have a good blade here that'll fit it and fit the mower. So we're all good there. And as you can see, we got a new handle on that mower also. So give me a minute. We're going to head and zap this motor on real quick and get this part done anyway. So generally what I like to do here, when I put these engines on, go ahead and set it in place. What you want to do, it's kind of a pain to hold these engines in place and line up the bolts and everything. So what I usually do, I'll go ahead and put one bolt in from the bottom. I'm going to give her a good dab of never sees. So I'll put one bolt in from the bottom, and then I'll go ahead and thread it in a little bit. That's going to actually hold it in place so I can line up the other two. I don't know if you noticed, but the original one where I took the engine off, there was actually only 2 bolts on that engine. One of them had already been snapped. I don't know if somebody tried to take it off or what, but that's what happened with that. So now we've got our other 2 bolts. We'll go ahead and get them coated anyway. Threads on each one of them holding it in. Put this third one in. Like I said, that's just going to be a little bit easier on the next guy when he goes to, or even myself maybe. You know, if this engine's got to come back off, it'll zap right off of there now, rather than fighting with it. Go ahead and zap these. Now, as far as the blade bolt goes, I did clean it up on the wire wheel. I'm not going to go crazy with never seize or anything because they normally will not seize up. This blade, I have to sharpen it, but I want to test it before I do so. Make sure that it's going to, you know, it's not bent or it's going to vibrate or anything like that. Go ahead like so. That's all there is to that job. We now have a mated engine. We're gonna put this thing up on a stand, and we gotta go ahead and play around with the bail cable next, and then we'll go from there with it. All right, so we're up on a stand here. I went ahead and put a bail cable on this thing. Unfortunately, this whole deal got screwed up. This cable is working, but it's not satisfactory to me. So this will work long enough to actually get the engine running, but it's definitely binding up some. I don't trust it. So that's gonna have to get switched out later on. I actually have a good cable here. I know for a fact I have it. I just cannot find it at this time. My organization skills are really poor at some point. But anyway, what we're gonna do now, last piece of this puzzle, we're gonna go ahead and pull this pull starter off. For one, we wanna make sure there's no mouse nests. Under this part here, they love to build nests, which you go ahead and start an engine with that intact. It will start a fire in very short order. And also we want to take a look at a flywheel key, re-gap the coil and everything. But anyway, I'm going to set you on a bench for a minute. We're going to zap this thing off. Take a quick look at what's going on in here. Alright, that should do it. Like I had mentioned, with the never sees, I do the same thing with these pull starter bolts. They're the same thing. They're going from a steel bolt going to an aluminum. So you always want to check them, clean them up, give them a shot of juice. That way you know for a fact if you have to take this thing apart again, it'll be all set. So what do we got today? Hey, look at that. Not bad. Alright, this isn't actually all that bad. Luckily we don't have Mickey or any of his friends. Coil gap doesn't really, well, it's a little tight on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and reset that. But we're gonna pop this bolt off real quick. We're gonna take a look at the flywheel key. One of the best things you can do to one of these engines. That way you know it, when I go to start it, we'll know for a fact it's in time. All right, that's what I like to say. So yeah, this one's good. We're right where we belong. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna re-gap this coil, clean some of this junk off of here, put this thing back together, and we're gonna see you in the driveway shortly. We'll see what this thing's gonna fire off for us. Alright, so here we are out in the driveway, aka the testing grounds. I just put fresh oil in this mower, so I want to pull it a couple times before I actually prime it. Make sure we got some oil flowing where it's supposed to. Go ahead. Tell you what, this little thing's got good compression. Go ahead and we'll prime her up for a second. Hopefully the carburetor will catch a prime. There it goes. I did drain the tank. I tipped the engine up on its side when I had it off the mower. Drained everything out of there. So this thing may start, may not. It might sputter, might smoke. We don't know yet. It's real close. It wants to go. As I said, the carburetor has not been cleaned yet, so. now, I'm happy with that. They don't sound half bad. We still have a little more work to go. Yeah, I gotta replace this cable. The carburetor I have not pulled off of this mower yet. I'm gonna actually take that and the tank off. I want to flush out the middle of it. Make sure that's all set. Other than that, we got a good one here. Somebody's gonna be getting a real good mower this spring. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and we'll see you on the next one. We're actually gonna be going away from push mowers for the time being. Just for this next video, me and my son have something special planned for you. So you just hang in there, and we'll see you on the next one.